Jordan here with Dumb Luck Customs. So, I received something in the mail that I had ordered. It's highly advised against, but I'm all about testing things. So everybody knows I have a factory ECU in my car, factory transmission, 242,000 miles, almost $250,000. So, me being myself that I am, I went ahead and ordered a 8mm injection pump because I can. But I got it last night, so I was a little overzealous and I already got her installed, but I'll do my best. Right there, that is a Benzinjection 8mm pump. It's it's definitely something. Like I said, factory computer, factory transmission, all that good stuff. I'm gonna fire it up just so everybody can hear the beautifulness of this. So I do have an aftermarket pump in my car. It's a PPE universal lift pump, 160 gallons per hour. So here we go. Purring like a kitten. Sounds amazing. Check this out. So, you can definitely run an 8mm EDC on a factory computer. Alright, so we're idling right now. I just finally got this thing running today. Had to prime the fuel system and all that stuff, but a lot more throttle response. Holy crap, there's barely goosing it, idling around in the yard. Factory pump, or sorry, factory computer, factory transmission, all that jazz. All right, back to you once I get out on the road. All right, we're in drive. Barely accelerating, barely touching it. It's already drastically more. Second. Transmission does not go in like second or third. Pretty sure it's the K10. Barely touching it. It's almost like drive. The best way I can compare this pump with a factory pump or factory computer, all that stuff. It's like driving with an Avery barely on. Still haven't broken 500 degrees on the EGTs. So, yeah. Alright, so now we're in third gear, 45, 3,000 RPMs. Holy crap. Alright, so here we are, 50-ish, fourth gear. Sorry about the glare. Roads are crap here. All right, light pull, quarter throttle, give or take. Dead stop. Put it in fourth. It's gonna act funky second to third, but here we go. We're barely rolling. So still in fourth gear from that pull. I'm gonna try the Avery mod. See how she responds. I'm gonna let it drop down. Oof, it is touchy. And 2,000 RPMs. Oh, she's smoking. Woo-wee. There we go. Avery's on. I'm gonna try to get into it gradually. And here we go. Those poles right there, not one of them was my foot on the floor. With the Avery on, it is scary. And I've got this little valve in my boost line to restrict boost, because to try and trick the map sensor, that doesn't even help anymore. On the factory pump, it would work and limit me with no Avery 20 psi. That's all it will allow going to the map and to my gauge. So realistically, what was actually going to the engine, maybe it was probably 25, give or take. So with the Avery on, not even matted to the floor, and it was 40. I have to watch the video again. 42, 43. My foot was not to the floor. So I'm going to get it on this next straightaway. We're going to see what happens. Alright, Avery's back on, 4th gear. Same thing. Let's see what happens. Foot to the floor. Alrighty, so it's the next day. What to do? 1/8 of a tank. So, anybody that knows these cars, and a lot of the Mercedes diesels are 20 gallon, between 18 and 20 gallon tank. So that means 1/8 of a tank is about, well, I'm just under, so about 2 gallons is in the tank. So, don't mind the mess. I'm always doing something. So, a little bit of waste fuel. Hey, Greta. Anyways, here's my waste oil setup, or filtration setup. First tank, I pour through a coffee filter. See all the junk it grabs? Goes in there. That little guard dude down there is about 2 inches off the bottom. So any moisture that does get in there, anything that does get past the filter, this pump right here will not pick up because it sits just above that. Turn that on, it pumps in to the hopper. Goes into the centrifuge. 6,000 RPMs, clean oil comes out here, goes directly into my 50-gallon cell. So, grab this guy here. Stick that right there. Look over here, and I got my battery right there. Turn that on. You're welcome. Now you know it's real. Then I'm going to fill this up, and then we'll do a cold start. Alrighty. So, thought I had a little bit more in there, but that'll work. So, hit that. It's my glow plugs, and it activates my fuel pump. As you can hear, it's very quiet. That means there's already oil in it. Hold that. Alright, fire her up. She fires right up. Alright, come over here. The lines are already starting to get dark. So that means there is now oil going to the IP. That haze is from my blow-by. She's still cold, so she's going to haze a little bit. And then once she warms up, I'll get a video of how she idles and smokes at idle and all that stuff, which down here in Florida, we don't care. As long as you're not being a nuisance. So like I said, she is damn near running 10. Don't hear the fuel pump because she's quiet now. But you barely hear that engine running. A little bit of haze, but hey, you're burning something not designed to technically be burned. My extra cooling fan's not even turning on, so I mean she's good. And the lope, that's going to be there because big pump, stock computer. What do you expect? So yeah, haven't been started in a couple days. Glow plug and fuel pump kick on. I'll hold that for sometimes 10 seconds, give or take. I think it's been 4 or 5 days since I've started it. I've got a couple bad plugs. Bam. Fires right up. That's a factory computer, 8mm injection pump. Not 100% sure on the CCs, but we know it's a lot more than stock. Yeah. And that cam sound hits harder than a drunk stepdad. Alrighty, so on this guy here with the 8mm Benzinjection pump. Reviewing it, I'm going to be doing a lot of comparing and stuff. You know, not only factory pump to the aftermarket pump, but also running diesel. Because right now I'm running on 100% diesel. I've got new filters and all that stuff. But then run it on waste fuel and see the comparisons of the cold starting, idling, smoke and stuff like that. Granted, it's an IDI, that's I'm obviously straight piped, but hey, I got 2 mufflers. So let's do a cold start on this guy. All right, glow plugs and fuel pump activation. I'll hold that for normally 5 to 10 seconds, depending on how cold it is outside. That might be good. Almost fires right up. A little bit of haze, but that's normal. And so one thing I've noticed with running 100% diesel, there's a lot of injector knock. So she shakes a little bit because my motor mounts are absolutely shot. So I think I've got a 1/4 tank in this guy. Just under a 1/4 tank. So what I'm going to do tonight is run it empty. Tomorrow I'm going to fill it up, and I've got 10-15 gallons of waste fuel. We'll do a comparison on that. Back to reviewing this pump for Benzinjection. Not for the faint of heart. Anybody with an Avery mod that's turned up would know. It's like that all the time because it's an 8mm. That's big. That's big pump. Most of them are 7.5, and you got TBUK with 7.7. But 8mm. I'm delivering right now. All right. And because of the nature of the pump itself and being on factory ECU and all that stuff, every now and then it will lope as if the Avery mod is on. Ooh, barely touching it. Traction control. Woo! Barely touch it, and I'm spinning out of that subdivision right there. Barely, it's a little wet out, but barely touching it. You know, before with the original pump without an Avery, would never do that. Avery, maybe, but now it's rowdy, just driving normal. I highly recommend upgrading clutches and solenoids and the B1 piston for shifting, because factory transmission at 238,000, almost 239, she ain't happy. To be honest, you really don't even need an Avery mod with this pump. Using it, be very careful. You could seriously melt down your engine if you don't got the proper fueling, or sorry, if you don't got the proper air going to your engine. And also at low RPMs, you'll wash your pistons because it is so much fuel. So, sitting here at work, just got back from my delivery. So she's at running temp. That's idle and everything. So the reason why she's loping is, so when you do an Avery mod on a stock pump, stock ECU, all that stuff, it lopes when you're in drive, sitting still, or if you're in park, neutral, whatever. Because I'm still on factory tuning, stock transmission, all that fun stuff, with excuse me, with an aftermarket pump or 8mm race pump, whatever you want to call it, it's allowing more fuel to be into the cylinders. So it's kind of like an Avery mod: all cylinders fire, pause, all cylinders fire, pause. And that's what you're hearing right now. So, but there's no check engine lights for misfire. It's still idling, same temperature on the exhaust as it was on the 6mm stock pump. Temperature's all the same. Went to town and all that stuff. I got her warmed up. So this is 100% waste fuel. The extra stuff you see coming out of the vent right there is because my blow-by tube is literally dumping just behind the intake. So, yeah. And then, with the stupid switch, God, I love it.